It is starting.
Am I in the frame?
I don't think you I don't think any of that there's nowhere else for me to play. Why'd you put it over here? You know Ashton sits over here. You know we sit over here. Yeah. Well, there's nowhere else to put it in the room that will get like pull like a tissue box and like put it up there.
They didn't have it.
Oh, you gotta see the lesson? Yeah, you gotta see that. You put it up there.
You guys ever
Oh, no, you don't want to. What?
You guys ever fall asleep without charging your phone?
No, somebody's gonna knock it off. Yeah,
I was about 5:30.
I want somebody to hit their head. Yeah, somebody's gonna knock it off. Actually, being recorded today.
And I'm like, I can do the exact same thing. Like, the only thing I can't do is text people. I don't even do
You can email them.
Challenging stuff.
It's more just Dave.
Why do you do it? The thing is, you can't put it No. That's what Brian had to do because he had to do like renew his some type of certificate. And I didn't find it because he doesn't do it. So I told him, I'm like, I'm working with it. So I was like,
We're going to get out their bell ringers and write this question down and answer it. The bell ringer for today is what are the American conflicts that are still going on today?
who has those in
You get out their bell ringers, get out your phone still. Take out your earbuds.
Why two?
right now.
Get like a t-shirt.
Friday and Monday.
Or I bring you two.
Friday and Monday. No, one per day, 2 days.
Where do you live in the country?
I'll do it.
Where you living on farm?
Sorry, that's a really good route. I wasn't trying, I wasn't that's like last second I was like,
Alright guys, can we just working on bell ringer? Hey guys, go be good today. Alright, go be good today guys.
Alright.
Y'all can use your computers or whatever you up. Or nothing else, use your phone. Just only use your phone if you have to or look something up like that.
I got that.
Really throw it as hard as you could, like a fastball on a 90 degrees editing. What else is the
that's not like,
That's not current.
it's 87.
You're looking at current Native American like problems and conflicts, not this conflicts in general. No.
Thank you. This was in the news?
Okay.
This was all over the news.
And I didn't.
I watched the news quite a bit. I've never heard of it. Wait,
Oh, hey, Connor. Put your phone up.
They're gonna do color.
Say like Jalen Hurts on top, like I'm not gonna lie. I
It's not really a conference.
No. Wait, what is it? Oh, okay, now I know what it's called.
Yeah, it's like it was trouble.
Didn't they shut down?
Yeah, they did, but that's why it's not going on. Yeah. It was current. It's like, it's not back in like.
Yeah, I know that's. I didn't know that there was a big fight over
Alright, does everybody have one of these written down, please? Okay, can someone tell me one of the problems that they have written down? Damon, yeah, that's a good one.
Territory, historic preservation, racism, reparations for the land.
Reservation for the land. Anybody else got anything else to add to his? I know he said quite a bit, but some people had. The pipeline, what pipeline is this? There's a picture of it right there.
I don't know, I remember hearing about it.
Connor, what is it?
Keystone Pipeline.
There you go. Keystone Pipeline. Keystone Pipeline. It was a big thing all over the news, like, I think last year. It was going over tribal lands and it caused a whole lot of controversy, so they shut it down last year. I think it was last year they did. It was either last year or 2020. But either way, that was one of the main conflicts that's happened recently. Who else? Anyone else? Got anything else they want to add? No? Alright. Well, the second thing that we're going to do is everyone please go to their little classroom. We have a little pre-assessment today. I know it's not a normal thing, but it's something that I have to do for student teaching. So when you go to Google Classroom, it'll be on the screen, and it should be the one it should be the red one right here. Don't do the purple one, that's the formula. Do the red one right here. It should look like this.
I don't have to.
Everybody will take some time to complete that on your Chromebook or your phone or whatever you have to use. Yes. This is like a this.
Cheapest prices.
It's the
I'm just reading that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, this is the free.
Yeah, pre-assessment, not the formal. You will know it at the end. Hopefully, at least. That's the goal.
What do you mean by?
Oh, that's this. This
Okay, so it's not the answer.
No, it is.
Well, it's a good thing it's not a math quiz, because there's 5. There's not half 5.
Once you are done with this, just put your phones or computers shut down, so I know that everybody's. If you don't know the questions, it's alright, we're gonna go over it, and you'll have a chance to do this again.
Should I know all these?
No, this is just a pre-assessment, you shouldn't have to know all these.
I can guess on those.
Yeah, you can just, I mean, you might know some of those on the same day last year. Like, you should know what the
No,
homestead
no,
is.
no, I remember that.
I know what that is. Yeah, I know it is. Well, you should know what it kind of is. You should know what it is.
I thought it was. Okay, now I'm actually.
Originally, it was 100%. Originally, but then they started selling.
Actually thinking about it.
We take both. There's like no.
Other one? No, that's a that's the formula assessment. So you'll know all the answers. This is the pre-assessment. Yeah, you're supposed to be doing the pre-assessment. Once you're done with the pre-assessment, just lay your phone down or close your Chromebook.
I didn't get the homestead app, and I didn't get who's turning to go I thought I knew what the homestead act was. I thought I was gonna get 4 to 5. I don't know if you can the ghost dance. I don't know that the ghost dance is apparently it's I put Cherokee, that's just a job I actually want. Like everybody needs a Cherokee.
That's my favorite
Hey guys. Alright, now that we're done with the pre-assessment, or at least most of you are, if you're not, you can keep working on it, but we're gonna move on to the supporting questions. If you want, you can just write these supporting questions on your bell ringer, or just get out a separate piece of paper that you do notes on. Because we do have notes to go over. So the first supporting question is, what would be some factors that cause Native American conflicts, and how would these conflicts change the way of the West? The second one is, what would be some consequences of natives no longer owning their tribal land? Once you get this written down, just put your pencil down so I know that everyone has got it. And then we should get started. anybody need more time to keep running this? Almost everyone, okay, cool. I'll give you about another minute. No, you don't have to. These are just questions to think for yourself while we're going over notes and stuff like that. That's what supporting questions usually are. Alright, is everybody done with this?
It's like the same color.
The last one, there's only
He's like, he just wants to use He's invincible. He is more color.
You good, Mom? Alright guys, we're gonna get started on the notes now. And these are just some key terms to know. You don't have to write these down. Okay, so first off, can anyone tell me what the Homestead Act is?
Encourage West
Wait, there's a lot of people talking. Did you say an act that created any 160 acres? Yes, it did do that. Anybody else? What were you saying? I know you were saying something.
It encouraged like the Midwest,
Yeah, it did. Encouraged everybody to move west if they got free land or very cheap land. They eventually went away from just giving 160 acres to you could buy like 2,000 acres for $7, which would be probably like $20 million today. But another thing the Homestead Act did was it pushed Native Americans out of their homelands and crowded them onto little small reservations. So before the Homestead Act, like this whole whiteboard would be tribal lands. And so then there'd be like little reservations here and here, and the rest of the area would be white settler farmer land. And all their lands would be shrunk and their resources kind of deprived from. Everybody had that written down. You don't have to write down what was the Homestead Act. Obviously. Pushed Native Americans out of their homelands and crowded them onto reservations. I think that's the most writing there is on the slide, or the biggest sentence on the slide. Alright. So after the Homestead Act came the Dawes Act. And here is Senator Henry Dawes right here. He is the man who came up with this act in 1887. So this act was authorized by the president. Does anybody know who was the president in 1887? A few years dead at this point. Anybody else? No, I tell you Roosevelt.
I know,
Oh, it says, white, in the white man's image.
I know.
That's what it says.
Thomas Jefferson.
No, it's not Thomas Jefferson or Abraham Lincoln or any of that. It's Grover Cleveland. That's who it was. I know he's not a super known president, but he did authorize the Dawes Act, which had a lot of Indians, caused a lot of trouble. Hey guys. Thank you. Alright, so what this law did, or what this act did, it was a law that broke up Indian reservations and aimed at making Native Americans farmers in the white man's image. Why do y'all think that they would want to make them farmers in the white man's image when they've been farming for centuries already? I mean, they know plenty of advanced ways and techniques of farming. Why would they have to do it in the white man's image? Anybody? It's a pretty simple answer.
They want to do it their way.
Yes, they wanted them to do it their way. They're basically trying to get the Native Americans to become this regular American citizens and leave all their tribal ways behind. They just want to erase all of that, all of their history, and just make them to where they obey their laws. Eventually, 190 million acres of tribal land was sold. So there wasn't much left after this. All that was left kind of looked like this little political cartoon right here. They just had about that little small space, and all that over here was U.S. land. So they didn't really have much to own after this all happened. But one of the things the Dawes Act did, it was cause of one of the biggest battles / massacres that was called the Battle of Wounded Knee. Has anybody ever heard of that battle? Yes. Anybody ever seen the movie Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee? No, it's on HBO Max if you ever want to check that out. I started watching it. It's pretty good. Yes.
What's supposed to be after the end?
It's.
Yeah.
That's not gonna help. It's in the white image, or white man's image. They aimed at making Native Americans farmers in the white man's image. I didn't mean for you to cut off like that. I thought I'd fix that, but I guess not. Everybody got this? Anybody need some more time? We're gonna move on to the next slide. Everybody looks like they're about done. Alright, so some precursors to the Battle of Wounded Knee. Does anybody know that really big battle that happened involving these two guys? Does anybody know who these two guys are?
Geronimo.
First off, that's a guy. That's a guy, not a girl. What? Oh my gosh, guys, she's trying to talk. What is it?
Oh, I'm just talking about stuff.
Oh, I thought you were saying the answer. Anyways, I know a lot of you, or some of you might have heard, this is General Custer. He should be easy to remember. His last name sounds like a dessert. And then that's Chief Sitting Bull. Chief Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull. And the battle that I was referring to is called the Battle of Little Bighorn. And this battle was a Native victory. And what happened is they ended up killing General Custer and winning the battle. But because they won this battle, it raised fear towards Native Americans. Everybody came to see them as savages, not really wanting to follow the rules, not wanting to give up their land, which is reasonable, because it was their land first. They deserve as much rights to it as anyone. And so, eventually, there came this movement called the Ghost Dance. What is something that most Indian dances, Native American dances, have in common? Like, what are they all?
Spiritual.
They're all, yes, David, they're all spiritual. Like the rain dance, the ghost dance, they're all dancing, and usually they're chanting something along with it that they're like kind of praying to their gods or whichever. And this ghost dance we'll get into in a little bit of kind of what it was. So another thing that happened is the death of Sitting Bull. It happened the same year as the Battle of Wounded Knee, just a little bit before it happened. I think it happened in the fall, and the battle happened in the winter. So what happened with him is he was awoken in the middle of the night. The U.S. Army tried to convince him to give up more of their land, and he wasn't being very cooperative about it. So eventually a gunshot was heard. Nobody knows who really did it, and this made this made the U.S. soldier, not Custer, made the U.S. soldier shoot Sitting Bull in the head and killed him. So because of this, it struck fear in many native tribes, and they just were starting to give up at this point. They didn't really see a point of fighting back against the white men because they were outnumbered, they were outarmed or outgunned, like they were starting to lose their resources to the white settlers. There just wasn't really much they could do to fight back. One of the things that they kind of came up with that they saw as something that would help them out was the ghost dance. So the first iteration of the ghost dance happened in 1870. And it was created by this guy, Wavaka, and started among the northern Plateau tribe in Nevada. This was seen as a religious dance, and what the dance did, or what they thought it did, was Wavaka, in the middle of the night, he had a vision of God saying that if you do this dance, then I will turn the land back to the way it was before colonization and bury all the white men under 30 feet of soil. So it became a promise by God to do that by 1881. So anytime they felt threatened, especially during the Battle of Wounded Knee, they would do the ghost dance, and that became seen as a threat to the white settlers because they kind of knew somewhat what was going on and saw this threatening. And then a little bit here, I'll show you a clip of what the dance looked like. Huh? I don't know, they probably just heard what it was about. But a lot of them just perceived it that way. Or, I guess they're kind of saw it as they're not really paying attention to me. Like, they're not getting up. So instead of like surrendering, they just did that. They, like in the battles with the knee, they started doing that dance. But we'll go over that in a second. Anybody need some more time to write this down? Alright, here is the video on the ghost dance. I'm pretty sure this is from the movie Barry My Heart at Me. I'm not 1,000% sure, but this is what the dance looked like. It's a little blurry to see. So that was the ghost dance, and it was a big part of this battle, the Battle of Wounded Knee. So the Battle of Wounded Knee took place in December 28, 1890, and it was a battle against the U.S. Army and the Lakota natives. And the attack was led by Colonel James W. Forsyth. The reason that it has the name Wounded Knee is because it happened near a creek called Wounded Knee Creek. I don't know if any of these, and none of these pictures have the creek in it. So what happened is the U.S. Army came and made all the Lakota natives surrender their arms. They encircled them. They, on top of the hills, they put cannons, as you can see right here, and that's a little blurry. They put cannons on top of hills so they could attack them from above. They had basically no chance of winning this. The weapons were surrendered, so they didn't have anything to really fight back with. I think a few of them kept their weapons, and that's kind of why what happened. So eventually, while they're in this circle, they eventually start doing the ghost dance. And while this is going on, a surprise gunshot goes off. The U.S. Army doesn't know who shot. They don't know if it was one of them or one of the natives. So they just start opening fire towards the natives, and the natives try to fight back a little bit, but they don't really succeed. And because of that,
Can you go back?
oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, the army opens fire and the battle begins, which isn't really that big of a battle, it's more of a massacre. Everybody get it? So, because of that gunshot that went off, 51 Lakotas ended up wounded and taken to the Pine Ridge Agency. This was another one of the reservations kind of close to them. And that's where they were sent to this live, I guess. And so between 250 and 300 Lakota were killed. That's a lot of Indians that were Native Americans that were slaughtered during this battle. Only 25 U.S. soldiers were killed, so it was seen as a victory for the U.S. But later, everybody at this point saw it as a battle because they did get a few kills on the or the U.S. Army. But later, it was seen as a massacre because they didn't just kill people that were fighting them; They killed the women, they killed their children, they killed the men who weren't really trying to fight or weren't armed or anything. So they just killed them all in cold blood, basically, just because they wouldn't give up their land that they had the rights to. Eventually, this became the last major conflict with the natives. There was no other big battles like Little Bighorn or Wounded Knee or Plain Indian Wars or anything like that. There was a few like skirmishes afterwards, but this is the last major one. And at this point, the natives have basically kind of just given up. They know that they're outgunned. They know that either way, the white settlers are not going to give up. They're going to keep on taking their land, keep on depriving their resources, hunting their bison and all that. So they see that if they at least get some of their land, that they'll be happy, and that the U.S. Army is allowed on some of the reservations once it's all said and done. Alright, so did everybody get that? Everybody get that down? Alright. So the next thing that we're gonna do is everyone get out your device and go to Google Classroom for the active classroom activity that we'll be doing. It's right, it should look like this right here. And once everybody gets a chance to pull their stuff out, I will go over it. See it? It's a pretty interesting activity to do. You get to make your own poem. Some people aren't the best at writing poems, but it'll be alright. There was pretty good ones from last class. I know a lot of the last class had problems with the active classroom on their phones. So where did you say, remember?
Yeah, if you don't have a Chromebook and you need one, you can go down to either there might be some in Mr. Lapina's room, which is all the way down the hall. There also may be some in Mr. Alexander's room, which is right down the hall as well. You probably won't want to do this on the phone, but if it works on your phone, that's fine. But if you are struggling with it, it's not really working, you can go check out a Chromebook with one of those guys. Yes.
You should only be on your phone if you're dealing with the active classroom. You shouldn't be on it for anything else other than that. So we're going to go over the assignment real quick. So what you'll be doing is reading this synopsis, looking at bless you. I appreciate y'all's patience while I get this back up. Alright, so this activity, you'll be looking at this synopsis right here. Some key terms. Some key terms. You'll listen to these lyrics right here. If you don't have earbuds, you can just listen to it out loud, like a low volume, or you can just read it. The lyrics are right there. But if you have earbuds, you can listen to it. And then, so what you'll do after that is you'll answer these questions right here. So tier 1, what was the Battle of Wounded Knee? Second question is, what was the Trail of Tears? Tier 2 questions are, how are the Trail of Tears and Manifest Destiny related? And does Manifest Destiny justify the massacre at Wounded Knee? I know there's not a term for Manifest Destiny on there, but y'all should have a good understanding of what it is. Y'all went over it yesterday, but what it was basically is the white settlers basically they thought they had a destiny to go and colonize the West and basically do whatever they wanted. And so the tier 3 question is, you will imagine that you are a Native American being forced off of your land, required to walk hundreds of miles to an unknown new home, and what you'll do is you'll write a poem expressing your emotions and your feelings along this journey. I would like for them to be at least 8 lines long. That's not too bad. And for the questions, you can work together in a group. But for your poem, I would like you to do it all separately. But you can work together in groups to find out the question for tier 1 and tier 2. But please write your own poem. You can look up inspiration, but please do not write whatever you look up word for word. I know a lot of people in last class were doing it and they lied to me about it, but it's pretty easy when somebody over here has the same poem as somebody over there, which is what happened. So y'all can go ahead and get to work on that and make some good poems.
What's on your page?
Can you read through the synopsis, read key terms and the lyrics, and you answer questions?
I have to write a poem? About what? About
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. It's also up there on the board.
I'm also blind.
You're blind?
He is.
And deaf. Oh, that hard of hearing.
I'll give y'all about 10 and 10 to finish this, and I would like for some of y'all to read your poems. It's like 2 of you. And then we have the format assessment.
I'll like snap my entire poem out.
Snap poetry.
So he just said that.
Actually, I probably won't have it done.
Probably shouldn't snap just because it is a pretty serious topic. So people might get offended by making lighthearted jokes.
I can start doing it.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What if I have Native American in my blood?
Then I get it. I don't know. That's a great point. Now I guess if you.
I got Cherokee in my blood though. I don't have Cherokee. But the Cherokee probably did too.
I think that Al did. It was just the Plato tribe.
What was the Battle of Wounded Knee? It was a massacre.
It was. It could be a little bit more broad than that.
What is going on?
Imagine you're being forced.
You're already on your phone?
Just go down to the question.
I could literally
Yeah, that had like,
like, you didn't tell me there were key terms. You told me there
That's
was.
because you can look yourself.
You
Last
told me
time I
about
checked,
this.
it wasn't happening. You weren't hoping.
these problems are very serious, it's a very serious subject.
I don't help yourself.
Yeah. What do you think of that? So you think?
Wait, were we in the same one? I thought it said 200.
Okay, wait.
But you said
I hate
200. It
how
says
this
146.
I kinda don't like it. I had a great call and I realized I can't say it in school. Say it. I now have to learn another word. Don't worry about it. I'll write it and I'll show you. I'll show you.
Are you arguing?
Yes.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know the question was.
You're doing this a lot faster than the first one.
Because I'm not wasting.
There's a lot of differences. It's like, sometimes I'm like
Wait, how
that.
many lines does this
That's a.
It's very long. Know how hard it is?
I'm gonna run a haiku.
Yeah, it's 4 lines. I can't even remember. It's like, it's syllables, basically syllables.
Like you like our line, it's like up to the
It's a command.
Be serious.
But it's like 4 lines or 5. Why? What if I can't think of
It's
it?
3 lines for 575.
Okay, how about 6 lines? 6 lines?
No, I'll write
Better
2.
than 8.
We'll write 2.
No, 6.
Yeah. No, we have to write 2 because there's specifically only 3
You have to
lines.
write 6 because I'm saying it.
I'll agree with 6.
No, I'm saying that.
More than
Haikus. 2 haikus.
Dude, double haiku.
I'll just do doubles.
Hey guys, y'all can just write 6 lines instead of 8 for your comment.
That's a lot.
6 lines. Lines, not lies. Lines.
6 lies.
Just a reminder, y'all came work together for the first tier, 2-tier questions. You can work together for the tier 1 and tier 2 questions. Just not the poem, only one is poem. If y'all get done with this early, just work on your vocab, and we got a vocab checkpoint tomorrow. Don't do the formative assessment.
Is it?
Is push 2 syllables or 1? What? Push. She's writing push.
I'm just in
I think the name is push. Push it. No.
It's
Dang
more
it.
pushed. You know, it's like pushing.
I do.
Well, not mostly. I want to go back.
Kind of raw.
I get wrong. Yeah, it is kind of weird, I guess. But no, I understand what you're saying.
A haiku does not have to rhyme. In fact, it doesn't have to rhyme at all. It actually doesn't.
Oh! I had to write 20 pages. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Hey, I've written one haiku. Because the best thing is they don't have to rhyme.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I don't think
Yeah, haikus don't.
I'm pretty sure like radio comments they would.
They do. They usually have like.
No, I'm just saying like there's different variations of poems. Not all
Keep it
poems
up.
rhyme. There's different variations. You need what?
Like, I don't know what else should I have, because I already have one about them being.
Come on down to American Inspiration.
No.
I will write word for of my input.
It's tired work.
What's that word called? I'll write synonyms.
It's tired. T-I-R-E-D.
You're immediately.
Or is it tired?
Look at this student, look at this student.
No,
I think it's two.
Okay, thank you.
These should all be pretty serious poems. None should be jokey or anything like that because it's a serious topic. You can look up inspiration, but it's not
Very.
right. You can look up inspiration. Write a word for it. Your poem is like 20 lines long. It's obviously.
Some, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it one syllable or two? Don't worry about it.
Do you never say
How many is it? That's 4. One plus 2
There was home.
What is
How do you
a little bit more specific. It's not really a joke. I'm not trying to
Is there anything else?
You can look up, like I said, you can look up inspiration, just do not do the work.
The white people, yeah.
Wait, where's my
Some colony. So we fought. So what
Can you read my palm? I think it's really good.
So that's not my first one. I guess I could have really made that forgot to take what I
Look at this.
I don't know. That's all I had to tell them. Yeah.
Yes.
How you spell
Okay, poems, it doesn't, okay, it doesn't matter how big you are.
How do you get a little late?
Unless you're doing that type of
Then white
This, I just want at least two, these might be the best.
I think so.
She said that you wanted to share your phone.
If I have one.
Yeah. No, well, I just want to hear from two people. Yeah?
She can read hers. I will read yours for you.
Yeah, but okay. Honestly, if I'm that, just don't say my name.
I mean, if you're really want to, you can have somebody read for you.
I don't want to know.
You don't-
I don't want to know.
This is Sasha's.
Yeah, about 30 more minutes to get us all finished up, and then we'll hear the assessment.
Honestly, I'm not. Like, no. I felt so, like, like, not even like on purpose. They like, just say that so sad. I'm like, wait, this is actually
Flip this around. Just put down the bag of potato chips. White and red. That's funny. I looked up Native American posts about colonization. Why do I know this?
Why don't you just look up Native American poets? You don't need colonization.
I like that.
You type like that? Oh.
That is terrible.
How fast can you type? I just want to. That's me. No, I said that's me.
Doesn't have to run.
I know, but like,
Goodness, that's why I put colonization.
No. You can ask
Okay,
them.
here's take inspiration from it, but do not.
I will write synonyms for every
There's
single
different
word.
types of things.
Instead of I will do B.
No, you just gotta like all like you can't say be the same. Like it's all gotta like connect to something. It doesn't have to be like rhyming or like
Trail.
That's another word. Pretty much always the same. There's always
Alright guys, we got about 10 minutes left to get this finished up and hear some poems, hopefully. I'm hearing some pretty good ones, so hopefully I get to hear the whole class gets to hear them.
All you have to do as a caller is record
Yeah, so we're out here. I got 2 more words.
Sorry. Can't switch it back.
What's yours?
No, I was ready. I wanted to raise it. This is a good one.
Actually, we might stop at 10.
It's not like anybody should.
Did 3 lines out of US to
I got 2 lines.
You got it. And you just need 4 more.
It's looking alright.
Hey, that means you're working hard on it. You're thinking hard.
I'm thinking hard. Physically drained me this whole week. I didn't know. We didn't play graph things, so I drew 12 graphs. I don't even know what they were talking about.
Honestly, I have
Oh, I know.
Oh my god.
well,
I'm gonna keep this.
I'm taking I don't know. Well, actually, I had to, so I did bio.
Yeah, you're done. You can turn it in. Just work on your vocab.
Advanced physics.
I can't take it today, right?
You guys do a question?
Actually, I don't know about politics.
Never played.
I don't know how to take it.
Take gold.
But
Yeah, that is good.
I don't think we'll have enough. Maybe.
same thing. So now I kind of want to become more weapons.
That's a complete tank.
What does it look like?
Maybe you don't.
I know.
Joke about it.
You're taking some of the
I know.
time.
No, it is because I have to
Frequently, they didn't say that.
so.
Well, no, I did go hard. It makes it
Also,
hard.
you had to joke out of my office.
I don't have any.
You can look
No,
up.
but I'm also taking calculus. So I don't think.
Honestly, knowing Sherman,
I'll do, I haven't done any.
if you put Sherman hands out, it would be better than just.
Inspiration to get there. I was doing
So
stupid.
knowing
Sherman has a really easy one. I'd rather, if it's first block, I'm gonna stay home and sleep and then
Alright, 5 more minutes.
then I won't have any more. I probably would have done it because like, you know, I stay on top of my work. I had to just.
You guys should be working on vocab, not looking at games.
I don't have permanent.
I got my quote. I got this one.
I started it. Yeah. Yeah. 15 for a while.
Run wide open and stuff like that, but you can't run wide open.
Actually, no, boy.
You also was a one slot open, you can figure which one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, get it. Try, at least I can. Like, that one I had to
This is 25.
members, it had
The vocab 21.
I'll tell them,
And
yeah,
then they
25 terms, 20 out of 25 is 100%. And then 21 is you get 16 out of 25. I know memorization's not everybody.
This 6 is like the minimum that I would like to be done.
I'm getting there.
How's it going over here, brother?
It's going.
You still got 2 lines.
You only got 2 lines.
Come on, bro, you keep going.
How's your?
I don't know if it's considered even a poem, but I just made a story.
Good job.
Yeah, take it. That's not how you spell there. That's not how you spell Christ. I guess.
They don't know how you spell. I got 4 now.
It's because I just gave him 2.
No.
Yes, I did. I helped him format it.
It's okay, you can have it.
Yeah, I know.
Just-
He said
How you like? I gotta say this.
I told him the last 2.
I think I'm winning.
I think that's pretty good so far.
Alright, you need 2 more.
Guys, don't forget to click that turn in assignment on the Google Classroom. Don't do all the work and then not do credit. Click turn in. Listen up real quick. Also, do me a favor and really quickly go back to your other assignments on Active Classroom. Just make sure you click turn in assignment because there are quite a few people that I know did the assignment that I don't have record of it. And I don't want you to lose points just because you forgot to click turn in assignment.
Yeah, you go there. I just want to go to that assignment. Okay, you turned on, you know for a fact you turned on your stuff. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, no, no, just a common.
I don't know what you would say.
We're not actually.
What if you said as of, as we do that? Trail of Tears, we want
Also, people are taking jokes.
We tell people again.
Alright guys, we are going to now hear a few people. Hey guys. Would anybody like to volunteer to read their poem? There was a bunch of good ones.
I need some volunteers.
Did you say you would?
I have some bravery about
You said- Oh, you can open it back up and you're closing out, but we would love some, I would love some volunteers to read the poem. I heard some. Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I'll do mine.
Okay.
Just let me know.
And when you do it, please stand up so everybody can see.
Or just speak really loud.
Yes, and speak clearly and loudly for everybody.
Okay, I've got it.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, everybody pay attention to Faith.
So it says, I don't know where we are off to. All that I want is to go back. I've got nothing left to lose. I'm sadness, tears, and blues. One day things will get better. Maybe not today, tomorrow, or the next. With little hope and a little bless, rain falls nevertheless.
Alright, one more volunteer. Any more volunteers before I call on the table? Is he actually volunteering or are you just hoping to stand up for him?
If somebody volunteers somebody, that generally means they are volunteering themselves. I'm not gonna force you, but I am saying, if it was me,
Are you talking to me?
volunteering somebody else is volunteering.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Alright, okay, I'm gonna call on this. Somebody from the. Alright, some good comments over there. Alright, some good comments from
No, I don't.
Yeah, but it's still good. You can go back to Yes, please stand.
Once was called home, running around carefree, doing whatever we desired. Then came white men.
Alright guys, I want you to be laughing. This is
Took
serious.
everything from us. our homes, even our lives. Now we walk on a trail of tears.
Alright, so the last thing we're gonna do, thank you for whoever, for all the people that volunteered to do the poems. And those who don't really volunteer to your table. Alright, so now I would like for you all to go to the classroom and go to the stream. And now you'll be doing the purple assessment. It's the formative assessment. It looks like purple, yeah. It looks like this. There is 2 more questions that I added to it at the bottom. As you can see. And y'all have to the rest of the class, to the end of the class to do that. And if you get done early, just work on vocab.
Yo, what's
No, my phone.
What?
Oh,
Did you get 100?
that's a question.
Oh, wait. I thought you were talking, yeah, you gotta do the formative.
No, I know, I was just
Oh,
saying.
you did it.
You
Oh,
didn't do that. You did the first 2. We were talking about for credit. I was like 67, 60.5, 60.5 to the phone.
so
Like
wait.
what time you
You
did
did,
it? You did the first 2.
you did all the last ones?
Yeah.
I didn't know, we talked through it.
Yeah, okay, we did talk through about the last 2.
Oh, as long as you just turn it in and
Good
get
job.
working on the formative assessment.
Mine was pretty good.
I appreciate your dedication.
Thank you.
Yeah, the formative assessment.
I didn't get that one, but.
Yes, guys, if you finish and you have the computer from Mr. Alexander, Mr. Filipinos room, please take it back.
You have about 6 more minutes of class. If you don't have this done, or if you do have this done, please work on vocab. Do not be looking at TikTok or playing other games or anything.
There's 7 questions, right? Okay, I got 5 right. And I did not.
I can name I said it for 5 minutes just shaking in Spanish because I was too lazy to actually want to hold your do.
Yeah, I did.
How many units is this?
Either 6 or 7, probably 6. Likely we'll have a vocab check. Usually we're like rushing by that point. So we'll get to what we can.
I'm at a district, so if I get bad grades, I get kicked out of town and have to transfer. That's why I went down to the office in the year where I have to maintain C's and do write-offs. I can't be absent. But they're hoping that if I get in trouble, they can kick me out. On the first day. No, if I fail a class or end a midterm, dear, they can Because I'm out of national. But like I've never gotten credit for my life. I've passed every single class I've ever had.
They were picking up. If you're done with this.
See, I didn't get it.
I don't think I should.
No, I wasn't either, but I didn't get it. My mom, when you went to date, like the first 6 schools, so I didn't think that they would actually allow me to get it. I'm glad they did, because I was gonna marry that, but I was not expecting it. And then by the time I did get in, I was like, oh well. I have paperwork, I'll use the paper. And then I was like, yeah.
Alright, there's about 2 minutes left of class, so I can go ahead and pick your stuff up.
I was a first 2 days.
I almost had a lovely day. I almost had a lovely day by myself.